First of all, thank you guys very much for coming. I guess we could just start. Each of you could introduce yourselves and what year you were at Grammar and your role at James Group.
My name is Jordan Palmer. I'm a director at James Group, and I was at Auckland Grammar in 2005 to 2009.
My name is Blair James, managing director at James Group. Started at Auckland Grammar in 02, ended in 05, 06.
06. Yeah, I'm Ben Adam. I'm a senior broker at James Group. I was same with Jordan, 2005 to 2009.
My name's Stephen Hook. I'm a director at James Group, and I started at Grammar in 2001.
How did you guys all enjoy your time at Grammar?
I really enjoyed the competitive nature of it all, and everything from your academic, finding out where you're graded in the classes, to trying to make the best rugby team. That was probably what hit home for me, just being in competition with my mates.
Yeah, I'm the same. I loved, just from day one, you're just thrown into the deep end, and it was that sink or swim mentality. But just enjoyed that school-rich in tradition. You could just see that, and I remember being in the Great Hall on day one, and all the names around the walls, and you just thought you were part of something pretty special.
Yeah, it's definitely that competitive nature of the school, the history, but also just the whole groups of people you meet. You meet people from all walks of life at Auckland Grammar, and I think that's really important into moulding a person into being a really well-rounded individual. So looking back on it, that was a really, really cool thing to be part of.
Yeah, I'd be the same as well. I think the friendly competitive nature, where everyone was in it together, but trying to beat each other to the punch, and it really prepared me for life outside of school. I think the fact that academically and then sports and friends, we still have lifelong friends from Grammar now, but it was the fact that it was competitive and really set you up to learn to go out there and get stuck in the jobs that we have now.
What is your specific fondest memory at Grammar?
Batting on the lower field with the whole school watching,
Yeah.
and everyone chanting. I think it was everyone watches the rugby games, but it was the one time we had a traditional, I think it was against New Plymouth or Palmy boys, down at the bottom, and the whole school ended up down there just chanting. And successfully survived the whole lunchtime, left almost every ball, but everyone was still cheering me on.
Mine was actually really similar, Hookie. We had Christchurch boys down on the bottom field at a traditional first level match, and Tom Latham came out to open the batting, and the whole school was there. Opening bowler bowled it, and he skied it out to me and took a great catch in front of the whole school, and everyone went nuts, threw the ball up and went off like a cut snake. So it was brilliant. I remember it clearly.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Aside from each other, are there any important relationships that you started at Grammar that you still maintain today?
Oh, heaps. Yeah.
Well, all of us say the same to your mates.
Yeah.
The company's solicitor is an ex-Grammar guy that we went with.
Yeah.
So you said there was 11 Grammar boys?
There were 9 other Grammar students,
Wow.
or ex-Grammar students.
Grammar old boys.
Worked for James Group at some point in time in the last 12 years.
Some of the sports teams as well, like after school now, I came back and coached the Grammar cycling team after school. Teacher relationships, so at any of the reunions and stuff, you always go, and even just before here, you bump into one and you just say g'day, and it's sort of, it's weird because you're talking as adults, but I think that this teaching staff was pretty special. They're kind of your parents away from home, so that was really special, significant.
And how do you think the Grammar spirit in those relationships sort of manifests itself in your work and I guess your outside work life today?
The Grammar network is definitely very valuable, and if you're dealing with a client or potential client that is an ex-old boy or Grammar boy, often they're passionate about the school, and it's an easy way to connect and easy way to build rapport really quickly. And often, if they have the opportunity to either work with James Group or another firm and they're an ex-Grammar student, they're probably going to lean towards working with us, just given the connection through the school.
The roots run deep, don't they?
Yeah, and often, these networking events and the reunions the school provides is a good way to meet future clients as well.
It's like the All Blacks, though. It's like the pride in the jersey, There's a huge amount of pride.
You don't meet anyone who's not proud or passionate about being a Grammar old boy, and if you do strike that chord with someone and realise, hey, we're both Grammar old boys, it goes a long way to solidifying that relationship. So it's always a good one to try and figure out, if they were Grammar boys or not.
Yeah, it's a legacy.
On your company website, the commercial property industry is described as a bit of an old boys club.
Yeah.
What provoked you to enter the industry at such a young age?
I probably had to justify starting at such a young age. I was trying to find an angle to get in there when it was just full of, it was old boys and males in particular, so male-dominated industry at the time, but there was just no fresh timber coming through the industry. And at grammar, you sort of taught, if you can't find a way, create one. And so there wasn't an obvious pathway. And so, threw caution to the wind and thought, hey, I think we can do something better here just by tweaking the mould a bit. And here we are, 12 years later.
How do you think the school has changed since the time you left?
Well, we just walked through it and we didn't know half the buildings.
My blocks are gone, there's no
Where's the Taj Mahal?
The infrastructure has certainly improved a lot since we were at school. The resources and facilities, for sure. Obviously, there's a lot more students as well. I think, but on the flip side, it's been great to see that that grammar legacy is very much alive and kicking.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think just talking to you guys now, is a lot hasn't changed as well, which we quite like. A lot of those old school traditions are still there.
The firm handshakes, right?
Well, the firm handshakes.
I was so impressed.
Streaming the competitor, and it's all that, that's what we're proud of being grammar boys, and the school doesn't give in to the wokeness that the world wants. So
nice.
we all quite appreciate that. Anyway,
it's a big transitional period, right? Where you're going from boys to being young men, so you can see that in you guys.
It's a good mix between like tradition and like moving forward in the world as well. Like quite a good mix of both sides.
Yeah, definitely. You just get more well-roundedness as well as grammar boys. And when we have mates from other schools, you just kind of have that edge in terms of what you're exposed to or what you've seen, or your unbiased view. Like Ben talked about earlier, you meet people from all walks of life, all cultures, and it gives you this sort of unbiased, balanced perspective when you come into anything, which has really put us in good stead on the business front.
What's the biggest learning from grammar that you still use today?
Discipline.
You got to work hard to get ahead. You get out what you put in.
Oh yeah, when I said discipline, at grammar, it's so unforgiving if you don't apply yourself. You get found out quarterly, from a class ranking system. Same with the trials and the nature of selections when it comes to sporting teams.
Well.
So the ability to sort of hold yourself to account and apply yourself is what I've really picked up and thrived in this environment, and it's then what I've taken on to do in anything in the business forum. It's you got to always look at the mirror first and make sure that you're doing everything possible to do the right thing, or keep promises, etc. And if you're not, then kind of the buck stops with you.
You guys all participated in a lot of extracurriculars, specifically sports, while you're at grammar. How did you balance it with, say, a prefect role or the rest of your seventh form commitments?
The school also in that seventh form year empowered us a lot as young men. You got Wednesday afternoons off, you got car parking privileges, so it really encouraged or empowered us to make the right decisions, or basically take ownership for our academic and our sporting or new extracurricular activities. And really, like Ben said, we obviously didn't always balance them evenly, but that was grammar. That was what you wanted to be remembered for, was just sort of either your sporting legacy or whatever talents or strengths you're good at. You can learn to double down and focus on them and really make something of yourself or create a name through whatever you're good at.
I think because there was constant grading in the classroom and on the sports field, you had to apply yourself to both to keep yourself where you wanted to be. So you could play the sport you wanted to, at the level you wanted to, and be in the class that you wanted to be in.
There's a healthy peer pressure too. The old classic. Are you familiar with the term grammar slide?
Yeah.
So you didn't want to be on that slide for too long. I mean, your parents would let you know about it, but I think even your peers, you're in your mates in 1 second in their classroom, and all of a sudden you're not. And it generally wasn't because you were moving north. You're heading south.
Blair, what motivated you to switch from a managerial role at such a large firm to start your own business?
I think it comes back to your time at grammar, where we were taught that you just had to back yourself, and that there was very much a winning mindset or mentality that was ingrained at an early age. And there were certainly a few people at that organisation that said I couldn't, and I wanted to prove them wrong. And I also wanted to see what I could do with that competitive nature. I wanted to see what I was made of. So I thought, well, there's no risk, there's no wife and children yet, there's no mortgage. I don't have a lot of responsibility, so why not have a crack? And if it doesn't work out, then I haven't lost a heck of a lot either.
The James Group has obviously experienced enormous growth in the last 10 years. How do you aim to further evolve as a company?
It's a quality versus quantity mindset at James Group, and we all within ourselves haven't got anywhere near our peak performance or potentials. We've certainly had some special milestones and opportunities that we've created or hit, but there's this feeling of unfinished business. We really want to see what we're made of, and so and like school, it's all about bringing each other up within the organisation, and so until we're all sort of in that sort of top 1 percentile of what we do, I think there's always going to be unfinished business and this underlying drive or passion for growth and to see what we can achieve. So I think as long as that fire's burning, James Group's going to continue to grow from strength to strength. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, no, absolutely. But it goes back to what you first said: is it's getting the right people and finding the right people in Auckland, New Zealand, the world, whatever. It's hard to find people that are motivated, competitive, and really want to go out and get it. And there's a reason why a lot of us are grammar boys, because we've learned that from a young age. So. The more grammar boys, the better in the future, really. Yeah.
I guess finish off on a fun one. Who is one teacher you remember, and why do they hold such strong memory today?
I remember Mr. Morris. He was like a fatherly figure at school. It was just in that era. I remember being in his office a few times for many for the right reasons, but also the wrong reasons. But just such valuable lessons came out of that quality one-on-one time, and said a lot to be said and thankful for the opportunities and second chances he also gave me at school.
Mine was probably Mr. Hale. I don't know if you guys remember him. He was only there for a couple of years. We were there, Benny, but he was a history teacher, but also coached a bit of rugby. But I guess his style of teaching was something that connected with me, and I always enjoyed going to his classes. Yeah, and he was respectful, I guess, as well, rather than wasn't too strict and serious like some can be. Didn't take the power.
I think mine was Mr. Thompson. He used to be
Dr. Richard Thompson.
He used to he was a soccer
teacher.
Coach. Yeah, he was a soccer coach, but he was a chip off the old block, an old school boy. But I remember learning a lot of things from him on the soccer field, and then he was also a very, very funny guy, and he made learning fun to be at. He made the sport fun. So I just remember that because of having good times with him on the sports field and in the classroom.
Thank you guys so much for your time. I really appreciated being here with you guys today, and definitely took a lot of what you said about how grammar helps you today, what you're doing today to stay connected with grammar, and your fondest memories at this school. It's really special to hear. So thank you.
No, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think from us, we have one question for you. Would you ever consider commercial property?
and working at James Group. So.
I'd consider anything with a work culture that I hear of.
That's good. Good answer.
Yeah, that's right.
I will enjoy it while it lasts. It's a good 5 years. So.
Oh yeah.
Flies by.
Yeah, that's definitely the best advice you could give.